Don't know how to tell my infertile wife that I got my AP pregnant. First time post because I cannot ask anyone else. Might be long post. Me, 37M, and my wife, 38F, have been married for 10 years and together for 15 years. I am a software engineer and my wife is a nurse. In early stages of marriage, we tried for a baby for about 2 to 3 years but no result, so we consulted a doctor. He told us that my wife was infertile and would never be able to become mother. We decided to live child-free and we adopted 3 dogs. About 7 months ago, my wife had a shit load of work at hospital due to COVID and she had to spend most of the time at hospital. Whenever she came home, I would be asleep because I had to take care of home and dogs plus my own work, so I was exhausted at the end of day. During this time, she grew closer to one of her colleague, 40M, and started an affair. They had EA which turned into PA. Their affair lasted for about 2 months. I had no idea about the affair because there was no noticeable change in her behavior. I think she changed her hospital branch on her own. I had no clue why she changed, but she told me that she had a fight with one of the employees and they were being allocated in different branch for same reason. About 2 months ago, my wife started crying on our dinner date and told me about the affair. I was crushed and ended up going for drinks. I drank way too much and was unable to drive back home. Luckily, our neighbor saw me and took me to home. I slept the night in the spare bedroom along with dogs. Next morning, I asked her about affair and why she did that. She answered by saying that there was no excuse for affair and it was her fault and she was the wrong person. Then I asked her about time span of affair. Apparently, the time span hurt me the most. For 2 months, how she could betray me every day yet still put the mask on. She even hid it from me for about 4 months. I don't know why, but I stayed. Maybe it was her remorse and her passion to reconcile. After D-Day, I started drinking more and every night, I was blackout drunk at bar. My neighbor worked at the bar and always helped me to get home. This led to the attraction of me towards her. I know that revenge affair lead to mess up situation, but at that time, I was just thinking ways to hurt my wife like she did to me. My affair started about 1.5 months ago. My AP was my neighbor 27F, so it was not at all difficult for me to reach at her place. Whenever my wife went to work, I invited her to my house or I would go to her house. This went for about 5 weeks. She told me that she was on birth control, so we did not use condoms. She was not looking for LTR, so she was just casually dating me. About 2 weeks ago, my wife came home early from work and saw me kissing the neighbor in her home through the window. She non-stop banged the door and was crying like crazy. As soon as I opened the door, she attacked my AP and grabbed her hair. I lifted her and took her to our home. At home, she had a panic attack. I thought that I would feel better after revenge, but I was feeling more disgusting in myself. That night we talked about details and she was angry that I took my affair to our home. She said she doesn't want to know detail because that would make her more resentful to our home and everything would be a trigger. That night, she tried to attempt suicide, due to which she was sent to mental health hospital for a week. Now we are in better place and are happy with each other. She came home last week and we are trying hard to reconcile. But this morning, my neighbor sent me the message that she is pregnant and I am the dad. I immediately called her and asked her that she was taking birth control, so how could she get pregnant? She said that she changed her pills from one brand to another, so that could be the reason. I asked her if there is any other possibility of being father, to which she said that I was the only one she was sleeping with for about 2 months. Now I am regretting my decision of revenge affair, and apparently, my wife would not be able to handle this news. I know I am biggest scumbag and not deserve another chance, but I truly want to reconcile and be with my wife. My wife has always dreamed of having children. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I talked to my AP about abortion. She said that she had 3 miscarriages until now. She would not abort the baby if baby survives. I don't know if I should tell her or not, and if I should tell her, how should I tell her? Any advice is appreciated, and you can cuss me in the comments. You have to be honest. Your wife deserves to know that you didn't use condoms with your cheat partner so she can get tested for STDs. You also have to tell her the other woman is pregnant. She will find out eventually, and things will be much worse if you hide it from her. Gonna be honest. Your marriage is probably over, and should be. If there is any chance of saving it, it will require total honesty, total transparency, marriage counseling, and probably moving. Not going to cuss you. That is not what you are here for. Your wife is going to go ballistic and this will be the end of your marriage. It should have been after her affair and you know that. Protect your finances and get a divorce attorney. Figure out who is going to get the dogs and start over. Also, you are going to be a dad. Make sure you are a good dad even if you do not have a relationship with the mom. Good luck. That's just awful for everyone involved, really awful. Also, having an affair is horrible to begin with, even if in revenge, but not using condoms with someone who you're having an affair with literally puts everyone at risk. Which I guess you've found out. There's no way to sugarcoat it and it is going to really hurt your wife. I would be devastated. Sit her down, tell her you have news that is going to be a shock and then just tell her. Make sure it's early in the evening so if she wants to go somewhere else, people will still be awake and she can use a support system. Then wait for the fallout. This is where your choices have got you. Your marriage will not survive this. The sooner you can accept that the better. She did an awful thing and instead of dealing with your feelings you tried to hurt her more than she hurt you. This is just the final nail in the coffin. Since she's already tried to kill herself once, I would suggest telling someone she can rely on before you tell her. That way once she kicks you out or leaves herself there will be someone there to watch her to make sure she is safe. You said there's a prenup so this will be over easily and quickly. At this point an easy divorce is all you can hope for. Creative writing exercise. You both fucked up and your marriage is long gone. OMG. Bruh, you knew that revenge wasn't the answer and you did it anyway. You played yourself, bro. This is probably about to become the worst situation you'll ever be in. AP, EA, PA. Are these common abbreviations? I'm not familiar with anything you're saying. Oh, this will be the end to your marriage. Which kinda sucks because you two should stay together and stay away from the rest of the dating population forever. Thanks. Well, maybe the AP wanted to trap you or not, but your marriage is surely over. If your wife tried killing herself from finding out about your revenge affair, I can't imagine she'll be okay with her learning you gave your AP a baby she's always wanted. You have to tell her, but definitely do it at her parents' house or somewhere she will have someone to watch her. Just start off with good news, honey. Then just try to put a positive spin on it. Since she attempted suicide and only recently came home, I would speak with a professional psychologist before breaking the news to her, and I would also break the news to her with a therapist present. This will likely destroy any self-confidence or self-esteem that she has left. The two of you have both hurt each other very deeply and unfortunately, I don't think this is something your marriage can survive. I also don't know why you would entertain not telling her. It's not like you can hide a child or like you should. You for sure have to tell her. The sad thing is, as mentioned by another person, this will for sure be the end of your marriage. All of this happened because you didn't dump your wife like you should have. Instead you bent yourself out of shape, living in humiliation and anguish, all because you were afraid of letting go. How do you feel about your neighbor? The truth is, your relationship with her is a lot more important right now than your relationship with your disloyal wife. Talk to a divorce lawyer, protect your assets, and then serve divorce papers to your wife. Then try to figure out how you're going to date or co-parent with this neighbor. Sounds like your marriage will be over, but it probably was before now. You both lived in denial. You should ask for a paternity test before signing any birth certificate. Frankly, your marriage sounds like it is wrecked, so make the child your priority, not your wife. Focus on being a good father to that child. Dang brother, well, you have to tell your girl what happened, but that's a lot of damage to your relationship. I would have dipped the first time she ever cheated and then just banged the neighbor without feeling guilt. This will likely end your marriage. Something she's dreamed of for years is now being flaunted in her face. If she couldn't handle the news of the affair, be prepared for her to try and commit suicide again. I just hope it isn't successful. This is a real big fuck you, even if she was the one to start an affair first. How devastating. I am sorry, I hope she will be okay. I would wait until AP is past the 3-month mark, as that's when the pregnancy is more likely to be for sure. It would be easier on your wife to not tell her prematurely just in case something happens. Whenever you do tell her, she will react horribly, and she will most likely attempt to end her life again. Make sure she has anyone, who cares about her there, to take care of the aftermath. Hopefully she survives this. You absolutely need to end the marriage no matter what, because neither of you will be able to be truly happy with each other again, so find a good divorce lawyer, as others have said. Good luck. Are you sure that AP is actually pregnant? What if she's just saying this to try to get you back into her life? Jesus, dude. I don't think your marriage will recover from this. And the truth is it should have ended after your wife's affair. Also, it's kinda cruel of you to expect your wife to raise someone else's child, especially if this is something she desperately wanted. Tell your wife she can get tested for STD, and just so you know, your AP totally played you. She clearly wasn't on birth control. Also, you're a grown-ass man, so there's really no excuse for you to have unprotected sex with someone you have no idea about whether they're clean or not. Ain't no saving this mess. I don't know if I should tell her or not, and if I should tell her, how should I tell her? There's no hiding this at all, she's your neighbor. Your wife will literally see that she is pregnant eventually. Sit your wife down and break the news. There's no easy way to do it. Your marriage most likely won't survive this. Also, you're a grown man, you should know not to trust someone when they say they're on birth control. Tell her straight up. I just found out that AP is having a baby and she plans on keeping it. I am going to be father. You are both professional fuck-ups. Come clean with your wife. And then realize your marriage is over. Your wife started it, and you finished it. Done deal. Sorry. You and your wife both apparently have issues you need to work on. Both of you cheated, and now you got someone else pregnant when your wife can't have kids. Even if it's not immediately, your marriage won't survive this. Start planning on a fair way to divide property. Start keeping your finances separate. You and your wife both messed up, and there's likely no saving your marriage. Edited for accidentally omitted word. This is a shit show, and no one here has an answer as to how you tell your wife this without hurting her. She'll find out and you'll be paying child support for the next 18 years. She's going to be hurt, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. Honestly, you're not gonna know the outcome till you tell her. So bite the bullet and let the pieces fall where they may. She's gonna notice the neighbor is pregnant eventually, and she'll have her suspicions. Don't drag it out. Love and support each other as much as you can, but also be prepared for the worst. It was your wife's initiative that your marriage fell apart. You both feed to move on. You took a sacrifice staying with her knowing you would never have children with her, and she cheated on you. Your mistake was staying with her. You should have ended when she did ya dirty, instead you did her dirty back. I think it's both pretty horrible, but I admit I give you a more moral standing. Either way, ya should get a divorce and move on. If there is any chance to save your marriage, I'd go see a marriage counselor pronto. Do you believe this baby is yours? Get a DNA test before adding more pain to your wife's infertility. Ha 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 ha, you suck. Leave your wife. Sorry to tell you this, but she will likely try to kill herself again when you tell her. This is betrayal to the max. She did you wrong, but you deliberately went for a revenge affair just to hurt her. That is even worse. Now you got your revenge. Firstly, get proof she is pregnant. She could have told you that to break up your marriage and to get you back. If she is pregnant, your marriage is over. Do you know how soul-crushing it would be to see the result of your affair, something she couldn't give you, all the time? Tell your wife to get an STD test, since you didn't take 5 seconds to wrap it to prevent both a disease and a child. Honestly, like I tell my son, never, ever believe a woman is on birth control unless you are 100% certain. Lesson for the future. When you do tell your wife, be prepared to take her to a medical professional, because I'm very worried she will self-harm again. 1. Make sure you get legit proof she is pregnant. 2. Take DNA test. 3. Tell wife there's high chance you've fathered that woman's child before you do anything else. Your ex-mistress might be attempting to ruin your chance at reconciliation with your wife. Don't take her word for any of it, just the solid proof. Y'all are a mess, JFC. What a shit drama, looking forward to update. Gotta bring popcorn. Having an affair is wrong. Having an affair without using condoms is even worse. If your neighbor will have unprotected sex with you, she's likely done it with other people. Did you bother to have her get an STI test? Did you get one yourself? Does your wife know you weren't using protection? This whole post sounds like you want pity, but you fucked up. Your wife fucked up, don't get me wrong, but holy shit. Dope TV show script. My advice to you would be to get off Reddit and play Nintendo. Don't think this is a real story, sorry. Firstly, you all suck majorly. Secondly, see firstly. Thirdly, see firstly and secondly. And #X200B. Now, as for the actual advice, Get an STD test, and tell your wife to get one as well. To make sure you're both clean. Then, sit her down and tell her. Well, you have to tell your wife. This truth is going to end your marriage, so there's no point in delaying it. I have to say, you two definitely aren't good for each other, but you certainly are meant for each other. Two idiots blasting one another is better than two idiots entangling others in their web of lies and deceit. You and your wife are learning that having an affair and revenge affair doesn't pay. You have to tell your wife and be honest. Make sure it is at a time when she doesn't have to run to work, and stay with her so she doesn't hurt herself. You may consider moving at the first opportunity. Best wishes. Your wife is going to find out. She can find out from you, or she can find out in a few months when the other woman files for child support. Which would you prefer? Wait, she had an affair first then cries wolf when you do it? Hypocrite much? She deserves to be cheated on. Sorry not sorry. Cheating is disgusting and in my opinion you're garbage for putting your partner in harm's way. You deserve a medal and tell her congratulations on being a stepmom lol since she likes to cheat so much you found someone who can have children. What you need to do is take her out on a date, like what she did when she confessed to cheating. Make the night special and when she least expects tell her congratulations on being a wonderful stepmom and you hope she forgives you for cheating the way you forgave her. You both are awful human beings, let's start there. I would tell you to end this marriage. There is just so much shit entangled in it, it'll take a very long time and a lot of therapy to fix, and even then, the remnants of the clusterfuck you both created could still linger. Your wife cheated on you and you cheated right back. I'm sure you're old enough to know that actions have consequences, so face them like an adult. Just tell her what your affair led to, and end it. Good luck to you both. I hope you both learned a lesson on respect for any future relationships either of you may have. This is all on your wife, she cheated. That's not to say you haven't made a number of mistakes. You should have just ended the marriage when you found out about the infidelity. You don't owe your wife anything, and her cheating doesn't absolve you of your own actions. Get a divorce and move on. If this other woman keeps the baby, you are responsible for that life. You don't have to tell your wife anything, just start the process of getting divorced. Bro, you gotta tell her, no matter how poorly she reacts it'll better than her finding out some other way. You're not a scumbag, you just forgot about one thing. You can't get her mouth pregnant. Karma is a bitch.